Okay, this is the second video in week 26 of our process series, part 3 of our process series. We're going to talk about benchmarks and the importance of tracking. So, like most things in life, you cannot get to where you want to go unless you know where you currently are to begin with. So, the first thing that you need to do when implementing processes is know what you're doing right now so that you can figure out where you need to go. Um, if you don't know how well you're performing right now, you won't really know if you improved anything once you implement a process. So that's why you need to benchmark what you're doing now. If you can go back and give yourself some history in terms of measurements, that's great. Like if you've got your computer system, your CRM, whatever it is that can tell you that this is what your history looks like, and you can get those numbers. Great. If you can't, start tracking now before you implement a process. Give yourself plenty of time to track all of those metrics so that you can have something to measure against. You're going to start by creating a list of the metrics and or the KPIs that you can track. So for example, if you're implementing a new customer service process, you may want to measure things like the number of likes on social media or your positive and negative reviews that you have out there on Google reviews, whatever it is. You're going to take a few measurements. And again, if you have history, you don't really need to worry about this because you can just go back and pull those numbers from your history. But if you don't, start tracking them now, like I said. And the metrics do fluctuate. So just think about that. Obviously, if you have a seasonal business, your sales during your busy season are going to be different than your slow season. So you want to know what that curve looks like for your business so that when you're tracking it makes sense that if I'm improving sales, that it's not just because it's busier now because I'm in the busy season. That's why sales are up. My sales are up versus last year, etc. The reason why you should track should be obvious by now, but it may not be to your team, especially if it's something new. So be sure to explain why you're tracking stuff, give them goals. If you can get buy-in to the processes, for like offering them bonuses and stuff like that for hitting certain goals. We're competitive by nature as people, so make them compete for it and make it fun, gamify it. A lot of stuff that you can do that can get that buy-in without them actually buying into, we're just going to increase profitability, which puts money in your pocket, which is great, but it's going to improve their quality of life, their work-life balance, whatever it is. And tracking is also going to let you measure the buy-in or the adoption rate from your team. And you can find problem areas where the processes might not have been either properly implemented or not implemented at all. So if the process change was successful, great. But if it was unsuccessful, you can, by having those benchmarks and the metrics and tracking, you'll know where the problem areas are. So if you implement a process and it doesn't work out, not a problem. I mean, we're not perfect, and you can try to fix your business. And there's plenty of reasons why that why that process might have not been successful, but you won't know it unless you're tracking it and measuring it. We're going to talk more about that in weeks 38 and 39 about implementing and tracking processes and adoption rate. But just think about that now in terms of being able to measure the processes and the adoption rate and all of that. It's possible to make some wise decisions using your gut. And, I'm not saying that you shouldn't use your intuition, but the numbers should be considered in almost every business decision that you're making. So, your business, that if you implement a certain procedure or policy, that it's going to improve your business because you just know your business. That's fine. But tracking it helps justify it, and it helps justify anything that you're doing to potential investors, your business partners, your employees, etc. I want to go out on, if you manage by your numbers, you're going to be successful. Knowing your numbers will help you make strong decisions, the correct decisions, and will just help you succeed.